Hi, Beto Eddie here. Today I want to do a special ranking, but I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Today is New Year's Eve. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve. So we got a whole day. Today is the last day of the year. 2025, tonight, midnight, it'll be 2026, a whole new year. Let's hope it'll be a great year for everyone. A happy year for everyone. Anyway, this is what I want to talk about. I want to rank the top 10 movies of my favorite actor of all time. I feel that the man is the best actor that ever lived. He's an old-time actor, and they don't make actors like this anymore. You argue, saying great actors of today, De Niro, Brando, Pacino, they're all good. They're all good. But there's one actor, and he can do anything. And that actor is James Cagney, old-time actor. I feel he's the greatest actor of all time. He can do anything. He's very, very versatile. Everyone says, he's played a gangster all the time. My top 10 movies, most of them aren't gangster movies. The majority of them are not gangster movies. And everyone knows that, the only Oscar he won was for a song and dance man. He played a song and dance man. George M. Cohan. And that was the only Oscar hit that he received for best actor. But of course, he started out. He was always a tough guy. Okay, he was always a tough guy. Even when he played a good guy, he was tough. Like in the movie G-Man, who's not on my list. This is not one of my top 10, but he played a good guy, but he was a tough guy. So he's a tough guy in lots of movies. Now, my first movie, I'm only picking 10 movies. He made over 60 movies. So it's not easy to pick the top 10, but I did. And my first of my top 10 is not a gangster movie. He played a tough guy. The movie was 1939, number 10. Each Dawn I Die is with him and George Raft. Now, he was he was in prison in the movie. It was basically a prison movie. And he was framed. He was a good guy. He was a newspaper guy, trying to get a story. And it turned out that he was framed and for murder and put into prison. Reminds me a little bit of Shawshank, that movie with Shawshank Redemption. That's the older one, the first one. Guy was innocent in prison. And it's a great movie. He now George Raft was a criminal, but they befriended themselves, and he finally proved his innocence. He was in prison for many years, good amount of years, and he finally proved his innocence, and the criminal helped him prove his innocence. Very good movie, excellent acting. Shows you, like the bad parts of being in prison. It's always, of course, it's bad to be in prison. It's never good to be in prison. But him being in a hole, he was in solitary confinement for months, and all that. It was just a very good movie. Extremely good. Not a gangster movie, because he played a good guy. He was just framed. That's number 10. Number 9, a musical. And he was a song and dance man in this movie. He danced and sang. It was a movie called West Point Story, The West Point Story. It was with him, Doris Day, Gordon McRae, Gene Nelson. It was like like one of those Doris Day movies, like Tea for Two, Lullaby of Broadway. But he was in it, and no gangster. He's not a gangster at all. He's doing a show, putting on a show, and had all these people doing the show with him. And it was done at West Point. Very good movie. Still not, I don't have a gangster movie on my list. So that's number 9. Number 8. Cagney played the life of silent actor Lon Chaney. Not Lon Chaney Jr., was his son, who played the Wolfman, but Lon Chaney Sr. He played, movies like Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the movie was called A Man of a Thousand Faces. The reason they called A Man of a Thousand Faces is because of the makeup he wore, all the different faces that he was in the movie. So that's that. The Man of a Thousand Faces is one of his later movies made in the 1950s, but very excellent movie, in which he played a life of a great actor, silent actor, Lon Chaney. Still, he's not a gangster. That was number 8. Number 7. And this Cagney himself says one of his best. A comedy called The Strawberry Blonde. A story about a man in the turn of the century, and he gets married to this woman, and this other woman was married to someone else, and it was the Strawberry Blonde. He really liked her, but then he found out that that the guy he became a dentist, and I don't want to do spoilers for you, but he ended up the guy who he had a toothache, a very bad toothache. So it was Sunday, no dentist was open except him. So they weren't going to see him. Now he wanted to do some revenge, because this guy ended up putting him in prison. He wasn't a gangster, but he was in prison. He learned how to be a dentist in prison. And I'll tell you, to the end of the movie, he wanted to do a little revenge. So he put no anesthesia for him. He had a toothache. When he pulled out the tooth, he pulled out the tooth with no anesthesia. And the guy was screaming. It was funny. Okay. And it was a very enjoyable movie, 1941, I believe. And it's called The Strawberry Blonde. Number 7. Still not a gangster movie. Got 4 movies already, not a gangster movie, almost half. And the next one is also not going to be a gangster movie. Number 6. Also, he's singing and dancing. An old movie made in 1933 called Footlight Parade. In the Footlight Parade, he played this, singer, dancer. Ruby Keeler was in it. I don't know if you were familiar with Ruby Keeler. She was in 42nd Street and some Bugsley Berkeley movies. I believe that Footlight Parade is a Bugsley Berkeley movie. which means the choreography is done by him. And it's just enjoyable movie. There's no gangsters, there's no killing, it's all singing and dancing and some comedy. So that's Footlight Parade, made in 1933. That's number 6. Number 5. Now this is my first gangster film. I'm gonna have some gangster films, the next couple films. But you see, I outnumber non-gangster films than gangster films. So number 5, one of the best gangster movies ever made, 1939 also. 1939 was a great year for movies, by the way. It was called the Golden Year of Movies, where you had Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz, Goodbye Mr. Chips, Wuthering Heights, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and one of the movies, The Roaring Twenties. By the way, the first movie I said, Each Dawn I Die, number 10, was also made in 1939. Okay, so The Roaring Twenties, he plays a gangster. His name was Eddie Bartlett. I'm Vito Eddie. So anyway, starts off, he's World War One, and he had to go to war with his war buddies. Humphrey Bogart's in it also. It's also a war buddy. Comes back after the war, and he doesn't have his job anymore. And there's prohibition, and they started getting into the prohibition business, where they were selling alcohol illegally. And he became a gangster, a big gangster. And he dies in the end. But I'm not going to go into everything about the movie, because you should go see it. So that's number 5. The Roaring Twenties, one of the best gangster movies ever made. Now, that was the last gangster movie he made in 1939. He didn't make another one until 1949. That's 10. Excuse me. That's a 10-year gap. 10-year gap. Of course, he made other movies, but that was the last movie, best gangster movie of 1939. 1938, and this is number 4 on my list. Also a gangster, one of the best gangster movies ever made. Him and the Dead End Kids, and Pat O'Brien. Angels with Dirty Faces by Rocky Sullivan. And the kids looked up to him, and he was a big hooligan, big gangster. He's gonna get the chair. He's gonna die. Capital punishment. And there's a famous scene on the end where the priest, which is Pat O'Brien, asked him, act like you're yellow on the end, so these kids don't look up to you. They say, he was doing it for the future. The kids should be good. The kids shouldn't have to be gangsters like him. And he's saying, no, I can't do that. It's not in me. I'm not scared. I guess I don't have a heart. That's why I'm not scared. I'm not scared to die. And they're walking along, last walk, and Pat O'Brien says, please, Rocky. And he says, no. And then in the end, he fakes that he's yellow. And he's crying, I don't want to die. In the end, when the newspapers come, of course he's killed. The newspapers come the next morning, and the kids read that he was yellow. He died yellow. They couldn't believe it. And then the priest said, "Yeah, it's true. I was there. I saw it." And it's a great movie. So that's my number 4 movie. And, okay, number 3, also a gangster movie. This is a movie that made him a star. And this is why everyone said he was a gangster from all the movies, although I can prove that he made much more movies that he wasn't a gangster. But 1931, The Public Enemy. Great movie. It's a famous scene with Cagney when he's with his girlfriend eating breakfast, and she says, maybe you must look for someone else. And he takes a grapefruit and he smears it on her face. I think that was ad-libbed. That wasn't in the script. But that was made the movie, one of the movies very famous, that scene. And it was a great movie. And of course he died in the end. Gangsters usually die in the end. Crime doesn't pay. And so that's number 3. Number 2, gangster movie. Then this is the one that was made 10 years after his gap of gangster movies was made. For the last gangster movie I told you was The Roaring Twenties in 1939. This is 1949. And what I believe, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, that this movie is his best gangster movie. Some people argue, say maybe they say Public Enemy is better, maybe they say Roaring Twenties is better, maybe they say Angels and Dirty Faces is better. I think this is the best. There's a little twist into it, into his personality. He plays a crazy guy. He gets these fits where his head's like he's gonna explode. He has a mother complex. The movie's White Heat, 1949. Great movie. Loved his mother. He had a beautiful wife. What was her name? Virginia Mayo. Beautiful wife. He didn't care for her. He cared more for his mother. There's a famous scene where he's in prison and he says, ask him how my mother is. This guy just came in and they said, Mom's dead. And he goes crazy. He starts punching everyone and all that. Great scene. And then the last scene where he's on this, what do you call it, where they have all these explosives in the warehouse, outside, and he starts doing his gun, and the fire comes, and he said, made it, Ma, top of the world, and the whole thing explodes. And he explodes in pieces. That's the end of the movie. That's a great movie. White Heat, number 2. That's why I have it in my number 2. Not number 1. Number 1 is not a gangster movie. As I told you, James Cagney, very versatile. He can do anything. Gangsters, drama. You can play a Spanish person with a Spanish accent. Play a Jewish person and speak Yiddish in a movie. He grew up with Jewish people, even though he's Irish. He lived in the Lower East Side. So there's a lot of Jews there, and he used to hear them speak, and he learned Yiddish, which is their language. So, not Hebrew. It's Yiddish. It's different. It's like a mixture of German and other words, but it's their own language that they have. Anyway, so he could do anything. But this movie, like I said, is a movie he won an Academy Award for Best Actor. And it's this movie. George M. Cohan. He played George M. Cohan in Yankee Doodle Dandy. Song and Dance Man. He wrote all the songs. Grand Old Flag. Give My Regards to Broadway, Over There. Those are some of his big songs. George M. Cohan's big songs. But But James Cagney portrayed him. In an interview with James Cagney, he said that they offered this movie to Fred Astaire, but he refused. He didn't want to do the movie. I don't know why. But thank God he didn't, because Cagney was great in it. And, yeah. It's best movie. So let's go. I'm going to recap. Number 10, Each Dawn I Die. Number 9, The West Point Story. Number 8, Man of a Thousand Faces. Number 7, The Strawberry Blonde, comedy. Number 6, Footlight Parade. Number 5, there's the gangster movies are starting here. The Roaring Twenties. Number 4, Angels with Dirty Faces. Number 3, Public Enemy. Number 2, White Heat. And number 1, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Those are my 10 top. And like I said, he made over 60 movies. There's much more I could have added. I could have made the top 20, but I want to stick to the top 10. So this is it. That's it. It's the greatest actor that ever lived. All right. So anyway, again, Happy New Year. Happy 2026, which is coming tonight. Okay, take care. Bye. Have a great day.